Other than death, there is no disease that cannot be cured. Let's start with a definition for cancer. Well, there is no definition for cancer. We can write a paper before we let you have it in this video. Yeah, we are a long way, but yet we continue to see the beginning. Now capture yourself with a frame of reference, just at this moment. Now, from the day you was born in this world, to the day you will die, all your cells will no longer be the cell that you was born with. So are you the one who was actually born? Because who am I is no longer that I was previously born. Life begins from one cell, 2 cell, 4 cell, then many cells. Cells form tissues, tissues forms organs, organs forms us. Scientists concluded that the average human body contains approximately 37.2 trillion cells. While they multiply, sometimes things go wrong. A dead cell sometimes don't die, but it keeps on multiplying, resulting in what's called a mutation. As the tumor or the cell started to grow further, then it tends to mutate more genes. But one gene mutation is not enough to cause cancer. It requires at least 5 to 6 gene mutation to truly become cancerous. As a result, these cells just continue to divide and then they give up rise to what's called a tumor. Yeah, to understand cancer with the more basics. Firstly, there are 2 types of cancers, benign and malignant. In a way, benign happens that a cell continue to divide at a single place and that destroy the life cycle of other cells. Yeah, that is dangerous. Definitely it's dangerous. And it gives rise to senescent cell and they develop by their own. Secondly, one of the most dangerous thing in cancer is malignant one. What happens there is that when a cell continues to divide, in that it carries a genetic identification of its own, and that genetic identification travels to every single part of the body, and that part, which it definitely pumped by your heart, is going to get devastated. The mutation is going to be carried on every single body part. That's what makes the secondary, malignant one dangerous. And there are further studies that shows these identification much more devastatingly, because what happens when a cell continue to divide and separate to all the body parts, they give rise to small tumors and those tumors develop furthermore. Yes, it is hard to cure the second type of cancer, because once a person who reached to this point, it is definitely as difficult to cure it and even diagnose it, because it's around every part of your body. Yeah, it is snowing right now, come on, leave it. Because the thing that we are talking is more important. We are crushing quality. The more I think it's more in detail, because what happens in the second type of cancer, when it's hard to find out that where is the type of tumor that we are looking at, because every single type of genetic mutation done by a single gene is going to be way more different than every single one of gene. So that is why there is no single medicine for a single type of cancer. Cancer cells then create their own blood vessels to grow around the body. According to the Cancer Institute, 38.4% of the men and women will be diagnosed with cancer at some point of their lifetime, based on the data of 2013 to 2015. In 2017 alone, 15,270 children were diagnosed from the age of 0 to 19, and 1,790 were dead due to cancer. Well, there is treatment for cancer, but after talking to multiple scientists, all agree upon that the modern we are becoming, the higher the seed of cancer we are germinating in our body. Because cancer is not one thing, it is a combined process of many stages that finally becomes a result. But the one I found most debilitating, the way to cure cancer. Yeah, there are ways to cure cancer. At stage 1, definitely at beginning stages, cancer is completely curable. But when a person reaches at the end of its stages, there are only few ways, and those few ways are so painful. Chemotherapy and radiation therapy have its own disadvantages, like bombarding radiation on a DNA is going to mutate it furthermore. But the way it is curable is to pick the part of that tumor and completely cut it away. Yes, it's modern science, and the way we know it right now, it's that only. There are many other researches done by other universities, but that are only research based and are not further understood and easy to open for public until we do not try them on mice. So it's quite difficult out here for me to even elaborate it further.
Enter to chemotherapy. Famous, controversial, and has many side effects with it.
Chemotherapy kills the dividing cells or the fast growing cells, but the problem is either the fast growing cells are the cancer cells or the healthy cells. Now as a result, it kills the cells from the bone marrow and digestive system that actually grows fast, and they are not the cancer cells.
That is why patient taking chemotherapy drugs loses hair and weaken immune system. Patient with chemotherapy has a survival rate than a patient who underwent no treatment. Still, the chances of death hover the head over the patient. Chemotherapy cure ratio, also the research papers are underneath the video description.
Radiation is also one of the cause of cancer because it has power that can alter your DNA and leads to cell mutation. Higher doses of radiation can mutate it.
Cutting, burning, and killing should be the oldest method to cure cancer, but instead they are not. Cancer by food.
Not naming names, chemicals like potassium iodate, potassium bromate, these chemicals are added to pizzas. A report by Center of Science and Environment, CSE.
The study found that 84% of the samples were found with potassium bromate and potassium iodate in the range of 1.15 to 22.54 part per million ppm. Around 79% of the samples of all packed bread, white bread, pav bun, and ready-to-eat pizzas or pizza breads.
Straight up, bread with these chemicals causes cancer.
Cancer is growing exponentially, much of which is responsible for the dirty genetic modification for the thing we eat. We don't want to cut our hands with the dirty politics. So let's continue on further. Now let's look cancer from a different side of a coin. Enter to pharmaceutical. Imagine a company invented a drug. The company filed a patent for it. For 10 to 20 years, then the company increases the price for the drug, since there is no other company who can copy the drug and sell it into the market.
Patients are forced to buy drugs from the same company because their competitors cannot make the same drug due to patent laws.
Pharmaceutical companies have replaced inventors from investors. It's billion-dollar industry spent each year on research, with other billion taken in cancer sales, and the fund is raising to all-time high.
There are more people that are making living from cancer than there are dying from it.
Will we ever cure cancer? Otto Heinrich Warburg, a German physiologist, won a Nobel Prize for determining the cause of cancer.
To be very honest, a lot of doctors still don't know what causes cancer. He proved that the cause of cancer is anaerobic, or the lack of oxygen in the cell.
That makes cancer cell thrives in an acidic environment, an oxygen-lacking environment. The secret to reverse cancer is to create an alkaline, acidic-rich environment around the cell. curing cancer using anti-cancer activities of Nigella sativa,
or the black cumin seed. Before you question our research, we have provided all the links and research papers underneath the down description with the reference of 57 scientists.
Then why does this happen, and why millions of people dying due to cancer? If we wipe cancer, millions of people will be unemployed, those are making living by selling cancer-related drugs. Yes, this is the world we live in. We have shelters for animals, not for humans.
If my cells are no longer from the one I was born, I am just the information. And as always, thanks for watching. Of the body and cut that out and throw it away. Oh my god, it's power snowing. I think we should switch the camera off. We want to find a cure for it.